What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Chicago Carl. I'm Chicago Carl, and today, as you saw from the thumbnail, we're going to be reviewing number 4 Virginia Cavaliers losing to the number 13 Ohio Bobcats March Madness upset that just took place. If you like what you see here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can check out our Instagram, which is at chicagocarl.yt. Check out our Twitter, which is at chicagocarl, to be notified about new uploads and whatnot. So to recap today, we just saw the defending champions, technically, the Virginia Cavaliers, lose 58 to 62 to the Ohio Bobcats of the MAC. Obviously, Ohio got here not from having a great regular season record. They were 17-7 in regular season play, but they won the MAC tournament, and they were seeded coming into this game as a 13th seed, which is where I think they belong. And Virginia was seeded here as a 4th seed, which I equally think they belong. Virginia was 18-7 in the regular season, and obviously Virginia plays out of the ACC. So this upset was not as popular as the prospective Georgetown versus Colorado upset, which is what I saw a lot of people talking about, thinking was going to be the upset of the tournament, but it was not. And this kind of is giving me a little bit of Oral Roberts Ohio State vibes here, because it was a game that really was not talked about in upset fashion, but an upset occurred, and it was astounding. It was a great game. It wasn't even like Ohio. This is similar to like the Oral Roberts and Ohio State game. It wasn't like Ohio played in just so much better than Virginia. They didn't. But these teams were pretty evenly matched, and this score was much closer than what a lot of people anticipated. And we're just gonna run through this. So just to talk about Ohio before we talk about their game performance, Ohio had 5 teams ranked ahead of them in the MAC this year. 4 teams. Kent State, Akron, Buffalo, and Toledo were all objectively better teams than Ohio. Obviously, Toledo and I believe Buffalo are both in the NIT right now. But yeah, Ohio wasn't even the best team in their conference, and they somehow won their tournament. Obviously Virginia was the best team in the ACC this year. They went 18-7 overall, 13-4 in conference, and you couldn't really tell by me saying that. You couldn't really tell it by watching this game. In total, Ohio shot 42% from the field, 30% from three. Both teams did not shoot very well from behind the arc. They shot 93% from the line. They were 13 for 14 throughout the game. They rebounded pretty well on offense. They had 6 offensive boards. They had 38 total boards. They had 12 assists as a team, which is not that much. Most of that was carried out by their guard, Preston. On top of that, as far as steals go, they only had 1 steal. They had 2 blocks the entire game. They had 10 turnovers. It was a little sloppy. And they scored 62 points total. Vanderplas, their forward, played phenomenally. He put up 17 points. He did have 3 turnovers, but he also had a block and 4 assists, as well as 5 rebounds to go along with that. Roderick, another forward on the team, put up 15 points. He had 2 turnovers, and he also got 2 boards. McDay started. He put up 8 points, and he had a steal, and Preston put up 11 points, 3 turnovers, and 8 assists, and 13 boards. He was pretty close to a triple-double there, and he was the biggest playmaker on this team. Ohio ran a pretty strong offense. They got past Virginia. I think they played very good defense on Virginia, as the numbers will show you that was the case. I thought they played a tight ship. They played Virginia very well. They didn't play like a small team. They didn't play like a team that didn't belong there. They played like a good team that belonged there. They looked like a March Madness team, compared to Virginia, that is. And on the Virginia side, their best scorer was Hauser. He put up 15 points total. He had 1 steal, 3 assists, 9 total boards. He was pretty close to a double-double. He was 1 for 8 from 3, which I found very notable. Ohio State closed out on Virginia's shooters. Also, Murphy III put up 12 points. He had a turnover, as well as he had 2 steals, I believe, and 4 rebounds. He was 4 for 8 from 3, so he was their best 3-point shooter by a mile. But that's about it. Both teams didn't have very much coming off the bench. The biggest scorer off the bench from Ohio was Sears, and the biggest scorer off the bench from Virginia was Morcell. In total, this is what was crazy to me. Virginia shot 25% from 3. They were 8 for 31. They shot themselves out of the game. Ohio State played very tight defense on Virginia on the perimeter. They didn't give them too many open looks, and the looks they took were not great. Virginia was 80% from the line, which is pretty good for the college game, and they were 35% total from the field. And yeah, it was that simple. There wasn't, this game was back and forth. It wasn't like Ohio got out to a huge lead and Virginia came back, or vice versa. I mean, the halftime score was Virginia was winning at halftime by one. They had the lead at the half. So, really, this was not a complete blowout. And if you look at the game flow, it was really back and forth, especially towards the end. Virginia had the lead for the majority of that game, and then pretty much in the middle of the second half, Ohio just took over. Virginia made a good effort to come back, but Ohio just ran with it. Uh, they had a great game. They looked very good. Virginia had the win probability in their favor throughout the entire game for the most part, and then the middle of the second half came, and it shifted ways. Ohio took the win probability, and there you go. So that's about all I gotta say. This was a shocker. Ohio is going to move on, and they're gonna play Creighton in that second round. Creighton, another team that barely got past their opponent in the round of 64. You're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about that matchup in our round of 32 preview. So there you go. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought about this matchup. Leave a comment down below if you disagree with anything we said. If you think Ohio's going to do well in that Creighton round of 32 game, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram again at chicagocarl.yt. You can follow us on Twitter at chicagocarl. Have a nice day. Continue to turn into later videos and enjoy the rest of the tournament.